Greetings from Tokyo, my dear friends. This is Daisuke, and I very much hope that this video finds you well and in very good spirits wherever you are in the world. And today, if you don't mind, I would very much like to continue on with our journey, our discussions, our discoveries, and our explorations with respect to the recent releases made by the Criterion Collection during this year of 2022. That brings us today to a very special release from Criterion earlier this year. This is a set, and it is a set under what is known as the dual format edition. It is a set that has a number of films within such set, 6 films total, and each of the films is given its own number, spine number, but the overall set as well is given its own spine number, and the set spine number is 1142. And I am speaking, of course, of this really wonderful release, which is Martin Scorsese's World Cinema Project number 4. So this year, 2022, brought with it a number of releases. One such release is right here. This is the shining example of the box set or the collector's set releases from Criterion. And it is number 4 in what we now see to be a series of releases from Criterion over the course of these years, beginning with number 1 and then number 2, number 3, now number 4. Martin Scorsese's World Cinema Project number 4 is at last here. And wonderful news indeed. This is a really fantastic set. As of the time of this video, I have seen the films contained within this set a number of times, including the supplements that are included with each such film. It is my plan going forward over the course of future videos to speak about each of the films that is contained within this brilliant set. So each of the films will be given its own video discussion on this YouTube channel. Each of the films, as I indicated, has its own spine number as well. But for purposes of today, let me just give you some general remarks about this set, including, of course, the booklet, which I have taken the liberty of removing prior to the start of creating this video. It is a fantastic booklet with a number of essays, one essay dedicated to each of the films, plus an introductory or general essay, which starts the book off, a forward, as it were. So let me begin with the general comments, including a comment about the forward, which is all-encompassing, and then we shall go from there. This is a set which is number 4, as I mentioned before. There have been prior releases within the Criterion Collection physical media catalog of the World Cinema Project box sets, number 1, number 2, number 3, and now number 4. And this set is released just like the previous sets under what is known as the dual format edition. So we have the Blu-ray and the DVD format both included for each of the films. So it's a really wonderful touch and a wonderful sense of continuity between this number 4 set and the previous 1, 2, 3 sets that occurred in prior years. So wonderful for Criterion to be able to continue to do that. As for the films themselves, as I mentioned, we will be speaking about each of the films individually in separate videos going forward, but just to give you a sense of what the films are. The first is Sambi Zanga, and the next is Prisioneros de la Terra, and then the next is Chess of the Wind, and the next is Muna Moto, and then next is Two Girls on the Street, and last but certainly not least is Kalpana. And so these 6 films are the films that make up this brilliant set, and they have been restored, and each film has its own story or legacy or circumstances that were involved with respect to the restoration process. Very detailed, very exact, very much filled with a lot of passion and care and dedication to the craft. And to see these films restored in all of their glory, respectively, for people to watch today is a true miracle indeed. And so we have a miracle times 6, as it were, when we think about the films included in this number 4 set, plus a number of other restoration miracles that we have been witness to in the previous World Cinema Project set. So here's another shining example of the great restoration work, and being able to present these works of art for us to be able to engage with, appreciate, enjoy, and become and further explore during this year of 2022. So well done, World Cinema Project and Criterion, for being able to release this. This is really one of the best sets. It's one of my favorite releases of the year, and I look forward to being able to speak about each of these films one at a time in future videos. As I mentioned before, this comes with the booklet, which is a very robust, very substantive, very thick booklet with a number of essays. So one essay dedicated to each of the films, and we will speak about each of these essays when we get to this particular and specific film discussion. So, for instance, the essay on Sambizanga will be discussed during our video discussion on the film Sambizanga. But for today, let me focus on the introductory essay, or the foreword, that begins the booklet. It's called In Good Company, and this is written by Abby Lustgarten, producer at the Criterion Collection, and she gives an overall approach, speaking about each of the films speaking about each of the films, and specifically or going into some detail about the restoration processes involved, the significance of the filmmakers that are involved with each of these films, and how it further provides a great context and a foundational structure with respect to the philosophy and the motivations and the real resources at work that are devoted to bringing these projects to life in the context of World Cinema Project. So In Good Company is the essay here, Abby Lustgarten's essay. It's a wonderful introduction. It goes into some detail, but again, you can, I think, one can read this forward prior to starting the films themselves, and then, because I don't see any specific spoiler details on the films. They're written in a way that is non-spoilery, but also giving some context into the importance of the restoration work involved with each of these projects. So you can read it before, or you can read it after you've seen the films. It's your choice, I think. In any event, this was a really great introductory forward essay, which is once again called In Good Company. So please check that out when you have the opportunity. And then I should just give one just a comment or two about the actual look of the set. Here is the box, which is very similar to the way that the previous box sets in the World Cinema Project releases looked, including the number here, number 4, plus the spine number here. As I indicated, the set itself is given its own spine number, 1142. And then each of the titles, you have 2 titles per these little compartments here. And so we have, and then inside we have each of the discs, the 2 DVD discs, 1 DVD per film, or 1 Blu-ray disc that has both films. So a total of 3 discs per each of these compartments. That covers 6 films overall. And again, respecting or further exemplifying what is known as the dual format edition. So wonderful stuff here from Criterion, and it has that similar look and aesthetic to the previous World Cinema Project sets. Each set had its own, say, color scheme as well. So if you recall, for instance, I'm looking at my shelf here, and I see number 1 had a yellow spine color. The next one had a sort of orangish spine color, and then the third one had a light blue color. And here we have a bit of a pink or red hue to the spine number. So it has a certain continuity, but there is a little bit of a distinction in terms of that. And plus we have pictures here which are part of, or are taken from each of the works specifically. So we have Sambizanga and Prisonniers de la Terre, and then we have Chest of the Wind and Munamoto, and then we have Two Girls on the Street, and here Kalpana. Yes, so they're all spread out in this really nice mosaic structure. So well done with the Criterion Collection logo in the corner there. So this is an overall take on spine number 1142, a box set, a collector's set. Released this year in 2022, and what a set this is. As of right now, the making of this video, maybe relative or compared to previous years, we might not necessarily have seen a lot of, say, box set releases this year in 2022 when compared to, say, 2021, 2020, or past years, for example. That being said, what we do get this year in the form, say, of this number 4 set is spectacular. Let me say that again. This is really spectacular. This is one of the great releases of the year, in my opinion. And there are a number of films here that are, the films here are really outstanding. And there are a number of surprises and a number of eye-opening shocks and thrills and wonders and delights and things to ponder and consider, contextual, historical conversations, history and society and life and human beings and individual life stories, both inspirational, tragic, and everything in between. This is the stuff of cinema right here, and it is truly, truly wonderful. You're getting 6 great examples presented with such care and passion and love here embodied within this great set. So highly, highly recommended. Again, it'll be my great pleasure and honor to be able to speak about each of these films one at a time over the course of future videos. So please, won't you join me in a discussion of these films, beginning with Sambi Zanga in an upcoming video. But in the meantime, my dear friends, this is an overall impression of this great set, Martin Scorsese's World Cinema Project number 4. So again, just to reiterate, excuse me, I will go over each of the films themselves, and I will go over in each video discussion the supplements that are accompanying each such film, because there are a number of supplements, and the supplements can be said to be tied to a particular film. So when we talk about each of the films, we will speak about the accompanying supplements to such film, included, of course, the specific essay that can be found in this booklet as well. And it's a wonderful booklet, a wonderful part of this overall wonderful package from Criterion. This is, once again, Martin Scorsese's World Cinema Project number 4. Okay, my dear friends, so that's it for now. And so until we meet again, please be happy and healthy and well, and please keep on watching a lot of great, great, great movies. Thank you so much, as always, for your time. I very, very much appreciate it. Stay strong, stay safe, and cheers.